Good evening, everybody. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner. I bet you thought I wasn't going to be on tonight, but guess what? I got a surprise for you. I am here, right here with you now. I'll go ahead and announce that I am live. Hold on. There you go. All right. Okay. I got two people on the air. Whoever you are, let me know who you are so I know who I'm dealing with tonight. Anyway, there's one other person I wouldn't mind inviting. Let's see. There's the other one. Right. All right, everybody. Two people live with me. I'm sure there'll be more along the way. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. First thing I'm going to tell you is that when it comes to Vudu, they have an offer if you're watching for it. You got to really watch close for this. But if you are at the end of the month and there is a movie, they'll have certain movies that they're going to take off the free and put back on the premium. That's fine. If you watch one of these movies on a particular day before they take it off and they put it back on premium, hello. If you do that, then a few days, now you have to not only watch the movie, you have to also rate it as well. Okay, if you do that, a few days later, they will actually send you a coupon in your email, and then you take the code, you punch it into Vudu, and you can get a certain amount off of your next movie, which is great. I have not gotten my email yet. I am assuming it'll be in my email either tomorrow or the next day. We don't know. But anyway, that's the first thing I want to tell you. Now, I wanted to show you this. This is called an AGP Tech HD video capture device. Okay. Now, this thing has an input and an output on the back of this. You can stick it. You stick an HDMI into the input. You stick an HDMI in the output. This is the power supply, and you stick a little flash drive in here. And then you can record, and when you record with this thing, it will place whatever video you're recording onto a flash drive, and then after that, you take your flash drive, you put it on your computer, you can edit it, you can store it on a DVD, whatever. But that's what this thing is here for. The reason why I have this here is because this is the second one I've bought. The first one worked great. Right out of the box, it worked fine. The second one, on the other hand, let me show you the plug on this thing. This plug has an indicator light right there, and it turns on red when it's working. Okay? Now then, this device turns green when it's working, and then when you actually push the record button, it actually turns from green to red. So, how you guys this evening? Let me know. I can tell you that gas around here hasn't been this cheap in a long time. It is now $1.59 a gallon. How much is gas in your neck of the woods? When you go to that gas pump to pump up your gas for your car, how much are you paying? I want to know this. Okay, I'm paying $1.59. How about the rest of you? Crazy Josh Cravey, I want to know from you. Now, first of all, Crazy, not only did I take notes on several, I'm going to do that tonight. And I'm going to do something else tonight as well. And it's going to be based on the video I had called the hyphen and the underscore. And the reason I'm going to do this is that when it comes to hyphen and underscore, it's a very popular video, but I made a mistake on it. You use the hyphen and the underscore and leave it right over here in the live chat so that I can then incorporate it in my video. I'm actually going to, as this goes on, I'm going to look up examples of hyphen and underscore. As a matter of fact, oh, aha, I see. Okay. Already got examples for hyphen. We'll get to underscore in a little bit. In the meantime, how you guys doing on other things? I'd like to know. I really would like to know. So let me know how you guys are doing. If Molly's out there and her last name is Quade, I got it right now. Quade. If you're out there, Molly, let me know. Anyway, so the good news is that gasoline is now $1.59 a gallon. We are all wearing masks now. How are you guys handling wearing the masks? Because there was an article not too long ago, and I would say within the last 3 days, where the Surgeon General once again was saying wearing masks, not such a great idea. But that's him saying it, not me. If you want the link to it, just let me know, and I'll give you the link to that article. You can read it for yourself. How many of you people over the last 2 live streams have actually taken the time to read the articles? And I mean speed read, not just read, speed read. Remember, I'm trying to augment your speed reading skills and your memory skills. How many of you guys actually looked up those articles, sped read them, took the essential information out, and memorized it? How many of you people did that? I'd like to know. Because it's very, very important. The idea is very simple. And yes, that's a fan. Well, let's trying to think of some other things I could tell you right off the bat. But I did get some interesting responses on a video I had done. It was a reply to David Pawson. After this live stream is over with, I do intend to make a response back to him. So, yeah, let me know what's going on. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, I guess I had better warm up my little digital camera here. We're going to start with some fun stuff today. I've had enough of the junk. There. Ooh, let's get that out of here. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see what's going on. Hey, yeah. Boy, we a little tipsy. Don't want to look drunk on my own video. All right. Oh. Got to take care of a minor detail. I will be right back. Gotta make everything look good. Oh, hey, that's not fun. Got cords everywhere. Goodness gracious me. That's a little better. I like that the camera pointing more towards me. Okay. Let's see how it looks in the back here. I'm going to take a sample. How much did that video camera cost? Well, I have paid roughly about $80. I have a new one and an old one. The old one cost me about $80, and the new one also cost me about $80. So there you go. I'm going to record some video here just for a second as a test. Oh, guess it would help. Well, that did help. Okay. Now, it would help if I set it to video mode. Ha 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 ha. There we go. Now they're going to look right at me. Now, I also want to... Oh, you're very welcome, ILRSNC. Thank you for the question. And the next thing I'm going to tell you is that we have what is called PTO at our workplace. And at a certain point, you accumulate so much that they actually force you to take it. And so I'm going to have a couple of days this month where I'm not going to be at work. It's only going to be for a couple of days. During that period of time, I'm going to be able to take notes and make videos. And I probably, on one of those 2 days, I will probably make a live stream like this. So anyway, you guys will enjoy me an extra amount. And I hate it when my camera gets a little tipsy because it makes me look like I'm tipsy, and I'm not the one that's tipsy. It's just the camera. Anyway, so like I said, at this point, I want each and every one of you out there to come up with examples for hyphens and underscores. I'm going to go ahead and look up. Aha. Oh. Oh. Okay. That's fine. Alrighty. Now, got to get my fancy dancy board. Oh, we got to have the board. Got to have the little board over here. And I got to get a marker. After all, we can't get this job done without a marker. So, now the first thing I will tell you is that normally at this time I'd be planning, there'd be parades I'd be planning for. First of all, I'd be planning to do the Stonington Summerfest, but it has been canceled. The Assumption Fest parade and Assumption Fest in itself has been canceled. The Razzle Dazzle Good Time parade has been canceled. The Macon County Fair has been canceled. I don't know that they'll even have a Relay for Life this year. If they don't, then that's another thing that's going to be canceled. I don't know if they're going to have a Blue Mountain Fall Festival this year. If they do, I'll be great doing that. Otherwise, I don't know. We may not even get a Labor Day parade this year. And even if we do, if I have to wear a mask and do the social distancing, there's no way I'm going to go out and videotape under those conditions. It's not going to happen. Another thing that's not going to happen is that they continue to force us to wear our masks. I am not going to go to Springfield. There is a bicentennial park. You saw in 2018 when I did the bicentennial of the state of Illinois. It's a great place to go to, but right now with the mask regulation, there's no way I can get over there. I can't even get to most of the signs this way. There will be no sign trip this year at all. That's canceled. It's done. I can't, even if I could go up there without a mask, I still can't get to the restaurants. Why? Because limited seating, or they just won't let you in. Especially if you have to have a mask. Well, there you go. So it's just not going to be fun. And so therefore there's no way I'm going to do a sign trip or anything like that under those conditions. And that's sad. What's even more upsetting is I've gotten news about, and I did post this, it's in my Speed Learner fan page. I'm sure some of you saw the post. Yeah, it is pretty rough. There is a post about what the school's going to be doing next year. The kids will go to school roughly about 2 to 3 days a week, and then the rest of the time they're going to be at home studying. So how are the parents going to plan for their jobs? That's going to be rough. Another thing that's going to be rough is when they are in school, they're not allowed to use the cafeteria. So you're going to have a set number of students in the classroom because of all that social distancing. And then on top of that, they have to eat in the classroom too. Wow, what fun there. And there's no field trips. They're not allowing field trips either. What do you do? We're not even sure how they're going to do the buses. That's a new one on me. So anyway, as you can plainly see, that gets pretty rough. And then the kids have to wear the mask all day at school. I wouldn't want to wear a mask in school. What kind of garbage thing is that? So if you go to my Speed Learner fan page, you will see that. There you go. Okay. So like I said, if you want this kind of information, I'll be more than happy to share it, but it will be put on my Speed Learner fan page. You guys can see it for yourself. Anyway, Crazy Josh Cravey, I have gone through several of your videos, and I'm going to go ahead and review them here. Also, like I said, I did the Danica McKellar Math Doesn't Suck, and also I'm going to do an update on hyphen and underscore. And then when this live stream is over with, I'm going to go ahead and do a secondary response to David Paulson and get that out of the way too. So bear with me, folks. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Lots of stuff coming on. I'm going to go ahead and check, see who else might have written me. Some people. I'm sorry, survival on a budget made easy. All right. Okay. Never mind. We just need to get into our videos for tonight. I do have notes. So hang in there, folks. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Oh, this little thing. That's what happens when you start talking. All right, I want my students looking right at me. There. That's better. Good evening, everyone. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and I'm here once again to declare the winner of the video response wars this week, which happens to be none other than Crazy Josh Cravey. Congratulations, Crazy Josh Cravey. You are once again the winner of the video response wars this week. And I went ahead and watched several of your videos. Okay, and we're going to start with your video on the Daleks 1963 review. Okay. Where is Anacortes? You had mentioned that. What else did you find at the flea market? And how big was this flea market? Was it outdoors? Was it indoors? What other stuff did you find at the flea market? I'd like to know that as well. All right, you had mentioned that you got an Elmo tape along with these other Doctor Who tapes. Did you watch this Elmo tape? And if so, what did you do with the tape after you watched it? Do you have any plans to review the Elmo tape? I'd like to know. This needs to be adjusted. There, that's better. Gee. Anyway. Okay. And the last thing is, where did you get your fez? I'd like to know that too. When you were doing the actual review of the episode, you were showing a clip of Barbara walking through those doors. I'm kind of surprised that Barbara did not hit her head on the doors. So, anyway, I hope that you will answer these questions, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go through another video of yours. It's called Chrome Schooled, and I would like to know who wrote the lyrics. I thought they were cool. I'd like to know who wrote the lyrics. And are you planning to do any more beyond that? Okay. Now, the video entitled Dyeing Our Hair. Where did you buy your hair products? I'm sure it wasn't a salon because most of those were closed. So where did you get them? Okay. And how did you keep the hair dye? And this also goes to Molly. How did you keep the hair dye from staining your hands? I'd like to know. All right. The unpacking time lapse. That was another video that you had. How many boxes did you have to unpack? Which box was the largest and which box was the heaviest? Did you lose anything as you packed your boxes? And how long did it take you to hook up all of your electronic equipment once you got it into your new place? And did you break anything? Feel free to leave the answers to any and all of these questions down here in the comments below. And I want to thank you very much for uploading all of those videos. If I get a chance at some point, I will review more of them. I just didn't have a whole lot of time. This is the first time I've had any real time off in a long time, and I just went ahead and sat down and I watched them and I took notes, and there you go. So, congratulations, Crazy Josh Cravey. Once again, you are the winner of the video response awards this week. Thank you very much for participating. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Okay. That's better. Now, stand by. Had to have this. I'm now going to continue my video series on the review of Math Doesn't Suck by Danica McKellar. And in this particular presentation, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about common characteristics. So what does that mean? Well, the first thing I thought you should have done in your book, okay, and I'm going to do it here, and I'm going to see how many people comment on this on my video. And I was kind of hoping this is the kind of thing, instead of doing it in a book, you should have done this in a video, because the feedback would have been unbelievable. And I hope that you will do this as well as I have done this. Okay, so here we go. So what would be the feedback if you asked the following questions? Let's say you do have a best friend, or maybe several best friends, or maybe just several friends. Maybe they're not just best friends, they're just basically friends. Do you and your friends have the following same characteristics? Let me ask you this. Do you guys have the same goals? Do you like the same type of sports? Certainly, I'm one of those people that likes track and field. I like curling. I like golf, where other people are like, they like football and basketball and baseball, that kind of thing. I have a friend at work that loves baseball, just loves it. Baseball's not too bad, but professional baseball just kind of bores me. Come on. He's running to the base. Woo! Okay. So anyway. Okay, now for your female students, one of the things you could ask them if they have the same fashion sense. That would be a good one. Do they participate in similar activities? Do they happen to have the same beliefs? Do they happen to have the same opinions on certain topics? These are questions that hopefully my audience will answer. And I'd love to see what their answers are. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. But why bring up common characteristics in friendships for a lesson? Well, I'll tell you the exact reason why this was brought up. It was because of common denominators. And what you taught in your book, not much disagreement here, except for one thing. I like the model of efficiency, okay? I like things like keep it simple, stupid. And that is an acronym I learned a long time ago. Now, for this, I'm going to go ahead and hold on, folks. Let's see. Stand by. Aha. Markers. I've always believed in markers and dry erase boards. So let's do this. So why are common denominators so important in fractions? Well, I'll show you why. If you're adding 1/4 plus 2/4, all you have to do is add the top numbers, because you're not adding the bottoms, you're just adding the tops. When you really need common denominators like this, because you have to add them up. Okay, so 1/4 plus 2/4 equal 3/4. That's easy enough. However, what do you do if the denominator of a fraction is not the same as the denominator of another fraction? Okay. What about 3/16 plus 1/5? And this is where we have a slightly different opinion about things. This is where I say keep it simple, stupid. Okay. I'm going to show you the fraction here. 3/16 plus 1/5. How are you going to add those up? Remember, the denominators are not the same. So how are you going to add them up? Okay. My idea is this. I just take the denominators and in computer language, you use the asterisk or just a simple dot. But for those of you who are not so literate and not so computer savvy, you would use the letter X, which is the multiplication symbol, by the way. So you'd multiply 16 times 5. Well, 16 times 5 happens to be 80. (16 times 5 is 80. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the numerator and the denominator of this fraction by 5. And if we do that, and I've got the figures right here, this is going to be let's see, 15. Okay. And then this one's going to be, let me show you that. And then this one's going to be 16. And of course, we'll wipe these out. And this is going to be 80 now. And this is going to be 80. So what you have is 15 over 80. And this was going to be 16 over 80. Okay. And so 15 plus 16 happens to be 31. $31 over 80. DM Gamings, how do you find a common denominator? Well, I'll explain that in just a second. So I'll be right. I'm doing a live stream right now. That's why I have two angles on this. So bear with me. Let me go ahead and finish what I'm going to say to Danica McKellar, and I'll get right back to you. Anyway, the thing is that if you do it the way I just showed you, which you actually put in your book, okay? If you do it this way, if you're going to run into a fraction that can't be reduced on this side, then you're done with your math problem. You go on your way. If you can reduce this, now would be the good time to reduce this. For instance, I have another problem here, and let me go ahead and get another marker because this one's not working very well. We'll take this marker and use it. Okay. Now then, we have this fraction right here, 2/6 plus 2/5. Okay. Now, even though you could probably find the lowest common multiple, you could do that. I say save the time. Okay. Just take this 6 and multiply it by 5. Because you can always reduce it later, and it'll be pretty obvious when you try to reduce it later how to do that. It really will. It won't take you 10 seconds. If you're trying to find the lowest common multiple of each one of these numbers, that's going to take too long. I really believe that. It's really going to take too long. So what's 6 times 5? Well, that, of course, is 30. All right? Now, you take both of these fractions times 5, or both the top and the bottom. So now you have 30 there, and you take that times 5, and that's going to become 10. And you multiply this by 6, and that's going to be 30. And 6 times 2 is 12. So now you have 22 divided by 30. Well, at this point, you can divide both of these by 2, and that becomes 11 over 15. And that's the lowest it'll ever go. Like I said, I think it's better to do it on this side when you've done everything out, because otherwise you're factoring in a whole 9 yards, and when you're doing a very fast math test, the last thing you want to do is waste time, especially if you're taking an SAT or an ACT. I just don't believe in wasting time. So outside of that, I had no problem with that chapter. And I really just didn't think that there was anything particularly wrong with it, except for the fact that to find that lowest common multiple would string things out too long. Other than that, the whole chapter was just fine. So I give you kudos on that one. I do believe, however, that chapter shouldn't have been in your book so much as it should have been a video with a video response. You want people to answer you and say, hey, do you and your best friends have common? As a matter of fact, bringing up common characteristics like that is a brilliant way to cause people to remember how to do all this. See what I mean? So there you go. So anyway, that particular chapter of the book, not too many things that I had a disagreement with. Good chapter. It's just that one lowest common multiple thing is just too long. It really is way too long. So it's too confusing, and I think we could do this a lot quicker. And that's the quicker way to do that. Just multiply the denominators, and then after you're done, then go on. Just multiply your denominators and then reduce your fraction at the end. All right. Well, I want to thank you for watching this, and I will review more of your book at a future time. And for the rest of you who have been watching this, thank you very much for watching. I will tell you more in future videos, so stay tuned. Okay. So, DM Gaming, well, I'm welcoming you here. You said, what is your opinion on COVID-19? Well, my opinion is this. These people that have been doing all this have not been giving you all the information. They give you some of it, but they don't give you everything. And this is where I come in and I say, okay, there's an extra information that you don't know that you should know. And here's that extra information. That's what I did the last 2 live streams. I don't know whether you watched the last 2 live streams I did, but there were actual hyperlinks that I left in the live chat that I wanted you guys to speed read and memorize. Because when people ask you questions, you need to have proper answers. And this gives you good practice, because when you're dealing with anything at all, then therefore. Now, I will give you another thought on this. How many people have ever done research on prohibition? These were actual amendments to the Constitution about prohibition. Okay? And I think if you look at prohibition, you're going to see a similar situation here. In the 21st century, you're going to see what I'm talking about with prohibition and this. You're going to see similarities. There's no question about it. And I hope you'll take the time and watch that. So, or research it. Remember, you do have the speed reading skills thanks to me, and you do have the memory skills thanks to me. So, do it. Research it. Learn it. Okay. So, like I said, with the common denominator thing, it's just basically take the 2 denominators, multiply them together, whatever your result is, then multiply the numerator by the same amount, and you saw it in the video, so you saw how that actually works. I just wouldn't go with the lowest common multiple, because that's a lot of work, and if you're taking a test, it just takes too long. That's why. So anyway, I hope that, well, as far as COVID-19 is concerned, is this, like I said, it all involves prohibition. That's where my opinion comes from. If you'll research prohibition and compare it to what's happening today, you'll get it. You'll literally get it. And hopefully you'll do that research. Learn about, this is why I've always said, how do you find the square root of numbers? Wow. If you'll go through my mathematics videos, you will find information about that. I do cover squaring and square rooting of numbers. So go through those videos and you'll find your information from there. Okay. Yeah, we're going to be doing a video response soon. I'm going to do it tonight, and we'll get this. We'll get that taken care of. Okay. So, yes, go through I have a mathematics playlist. You should be able to find in the mathematics playlist a thing about square roots and a whole bunch of other topics as well. You can also go through my elementary mathematics. I'm pretty sure there's something about that there too. So check both out and you'll find it. If you can't find it, come back to me and I'll help you with it. All right. Anyway, we have one more video tonight. I'm going to do an update. I'm going to do an update tonight on hyphen underscore. All right. This will be my last official video of the evening, and then we can go on to whatever you guys want to go on to. But I'm going to do one more educational video tonight. The reason for this particular video is as follows. I have a very popular video. I made it about a decade ago. It was on hyphen and underscore. I did make one mistake on it, and now we're going to do an update on it. So that's what we're going to do. All right. Good evening, everyone. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and tonight we're going to do an update on a video I made a decade ago entitled hyphen and underscore. Okay, now then, the reason we're going to do this update is that I didn't properly illustrate the hyphen and the underscore. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some etymology on, and if you don't know what etymology is, it's the study of word origins. We're going to do some etymology on the words hyphen and underscore. What is the etymology of the word hyphen? Well, the word hyphen actually comes from the Latin word hypo, which comes from a Greek word known as hupo, which actually means below or under. Okay? Now, the second part of the word comes from a Greek term, hin or heis. Hin or heis. And it actually means one. Okay? And what you're actually doing, and I don't know why they would go under, but it actually is a joining of two words. Okay? The actual thing is it's a mark that joins words or word syllables. Okay? I'm sure that you have actually seen where they show you how to pronounce a word, and they show you all the hyphens that go along with that. Okay? So what words would you join together? Okay, let's give you some examples. So, how would you use a hyphen to join words? Okay, let's try this one on for size. All right, let's take the word 25. There's your hyphen right there. And it's not down on the bottom. It's not really even at the top. It's kind of in between, like that. Okay? It's not way up here. It's not way down below. It's right in the middle. So you got 25. All right? That's one thing you can do with a hyphen. All right? Now, what if you had to spell out the word 1/2? And I just covered tonight, for those of you who have not been watching my live streams, especially tonight's live stream, if you did not watch that, then I just covered another section of Danica McKellar's book, Math Doesn't Suck. If you want to watch those videos, I think I have a playlist of those. If I don't, I'm going to fix that. And you can watch my review of Danica McKellar's Math Doesn't Suck. If you're writing a sophisticated text, you would not put the fraction 1/2 in there. You would say 1/2. And that's how you use a hyphen. Okay. Now, what if you had a job title like this? Boy, I almost didn't. You know what? I don't like that. Let me do this again. I don't like that. What if your job title was Secretary of State? Then you'd use hyphens. That's how you use hyphens. Okay. Now then, while I'm writing down the next thing, I wanted to let you know that when it comes to the Math Doesn't Suck videos, I'm pretty sure I have little boxes that will appear on the top right corner of the screen. It will take you to the next video in that series. So you don't even have to look for a playlist. You just click the little box, it'll take you to the next one. All right. Now, what about an underscore? Okay. Well, most often these underscores are used, hold on, to if you wanted to emphasize a particular word in a text. Let's see. Let's try this. So you would put an underscore under the red here to emphasize that, yes, we want you to know he had a red collar, not a blue collar, not a green collar or anything else. But what is it more commonly used for? Well, underscores are most used today for, like if I was to write out my name for like an email address. Now, I've never done this, but if I were to do this, I would write down the underscore would take the place of a space. When you're doing email address names, you can't have a space. So what you do is you represent the space with an underscore. That's what you do that for. So that is the difference between hyphens and underscores. There you go. So I wanted to thank you very much for watching this particular presentation. Now that you comprehend the difference between a hyphen and an underscore, maybe you use those more effectively. There will be, at some point in this video, a little card that will appear on the upper right corner of the screen. Click it, and it'll take you to another key on the computer keyboard that you may or may not be familiar with. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Okay, can't find the video. Okay. Finding square roots can be very, very tricky. You have to keep in mind that when you're talking a square root, and it's been a long time since I've taught this, when you're talking the square root, you have to multiply a number by another number okay, to get a square, you have to multiply a number by itself. Okay, so it'd be 2 times 2 or 3 times 3 or 5 times 5, whatever it is. So finding a square root can be a real daunting task because you have to find a number that can be multiplied by itself to get it. One of the things you can do is, if you have a calculator, it's real easy. But if you don't have a calculator, you can memorize a list of square numbers, but that's kind of inefficient. I mean, it can be done theoretically because, after all, I've given you Harry Lorraine's memory techniques, but it could be also kind of inefficient. Boy, good way to find a square root. Just the most important thing is to remember that you have to have a number that multiplies itself. Okay, so if you're trying to find the square root of 7, then it's not 3.5 plus 3.5. It's more like some number times itself will give you the square root of 7. And that would be a fractional number. I can guarantee you that. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Let's see. The best thing to do is, because you have 2 times 2, which of course is 4, and I'm going to illustrate this here. And then you have, I'm trying to think. And then 3 times 3, which of course is 9. So obviously, we have 2 times 2 is equal to 4, and 3 times 3 equals to 9. Then somewhere along the line, you're going to have a number which is going to be a 2 point something. Okay, 2 point something, because it's going to be a number between 2 and 3 that's actually going to give you, if you multiply it times itself, it's going to give you 7. Let me see if I got a calculator thing on my computer here and see what I can do about finding. So one of the best things I can suggest is finding a number times itself and saying, well, that's the low end. Then finding a number times itself, which is the high end, okay, because you know that the number 7 falls between 4 and 9. Therefore, you're looking for a number that's 2 point something to multiply by itself to get your 7. And that's the best thing you can do in those kind of situations. In this particular case, now that we got that particular video done, I hope this has a square root. Yes, it does. Oh, there. Well, what the? Okay, let's see. Okay. Well, this only takes you out to a few decimal places. I'll just go ahead and take you out to a few. So, in this case, actually, that would be, we're going to round it up. And if we round this up, 2.65 times itself is going to give you approximately 7. Okay, 2.65 times itself is going to give you approximately 7. So I hope that helped you out a little bit. Like I said, find something that's low, find something that's high, and that this whatever number you're trying to find the square root of falls in between, and then you can then figure out some decimal point that goes or just simply use a calculator. That would be the best thing, because this can get trying to do it by hand can be a little tricky, but that's how you do that. I think you're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. So I'm glad I was able to help you guys out. Like I said, when it comes to the COVID information, I will continue to provide that on my fan page. Let you guys read the articles. My point to you is not so much the COVID. My point to you is this. This is a better point, and I hope you guys pay real close attention, because this is very, very important. With the businesses shutting down like they have, some of them are going to go out of business. That means a lot of you guys are going to be unemployed. There will come a day of the haves and the have-nots. Either you, you're welcome, ILRSNC. And by the way, DM gave me, you're welcome there too. But anyway, as I was saying, when you get to that point where you're facing unemployment, massive unemployment, then my point to you is this. You're either going to get a smart job or you're not going to get a job. That's the way it's going to work. It's not that way yet, but it's going to be that way. And if you're a speed reader and a memory expert and you know all these little pieces of information, you're going to do better. You're going to have a better chance of getting a job. I guarantee it. So, my point to you is that people will debate this for a long time yet to come. The most important thing you guys can do is to learn what I'm teaching you, not just here, but on my fan page, in my Kindle books, all of that. Learn about prohibition. You'll understand a lot better. Your comprehension rate will increase radically. You will augment it. It's very important. All right. Well, I wanted to thank each and every one of you for watching this presentation. You guys got any other questions for me? I'd love to hear what you have to say. I know you guys like to talk, and so now that we've done our official presentations for the night, I want to hear what you have to say. Anything you guys can think about, anything that you want to learn, because I'm more than happy to help you. Let's take a look here. I think the thing that concerns me most is, what do you think about having to wear a mask? They're hot. They make you feel like you're going to asphyxiate. I mean, it's not really like that, but I mean, you get that psychological feeling. That's what you get. And as far as it's concerned, here's how I see it. Let's give it 30 days. Okay, 30 days. One of three scenarios is going to happen. One, in 30 days, if we wear our masks exactly the way they want us to, this virus just disappears and we never see it again. If that being the case, woohoo, and it's over, and at that point, it should end. The masks should be gone, and we should never have to wear them again. Two, the second option actually splits into two parts. That's why I have a 2 and a 3. The second part goes something like this. The masks don't work because even if we're wearing them properly, it just keeps right out infecting people anyway. If that being the case, why are we wearing the masks? Because obviously they're not working, so why are we wearing them? 3, this goes back to prohibition. What happened in prohibition is going to, it could happen here. It could literally happen here. And you're already seeing this with people having parties in their own houses. You're already seeing it. That's prohibition. So the 3 options are, 1, it works and the virus goes away. We never have to wear them again. 2, it doesn't work. There's no point in wearing them. Get rid of them. 3, we have a situation identical to prohibition. Either way, there's your answers. So we will find out in 30 days which one of those scenarios finally plays out. Personally, I would like to see the scenario where the virus just goes away and we never have to worry about them again. So for the 4th or 5th time in this video, I encourage you guys to research prohibition so you comprehend what I'm trying to tell you. Otherwise, you may not get it. Now, you people are going to be asking me, well, okay, you can't videotape any signs because of all this mess that we're in. What about advertising it? I hope so too, says ILRSNC. Okay, now the key is the question is, why can't I advertise? Okay, you got to keep in mind that I have to wear this mask in the hot sun, going from business to business to business, distributing flyers. Right. That ain't going to happen. And again, still the problem, where am I going to eat? There you go. Even if they reopen the parks, there would be a limited capacity in the parks. So if you're the stranger, you're probably not going to get in that park. So advertising is going to be really tough for me. And that's why we have those problems. So until this thing completely clears up and the masks are out of here and we get the restaurants back in order, not a lot of advertising. And there you go. Anyway, I wanted to thank each and every one of you. I'm sorry Survival on a Budget made it easy that you weren't able to join us tonight. I hope someday you will be able to. And if you do, that's great. If not, well, we'll just wait. But I know you'll rewind this and you'll go through it. And please, just because you're not watching this live does not mean you can't give me any comments. Leave the comments in the comment section below. One of the things I will do is fix the comments of the last 2 videos at some point with the links. All right, I see we got a 3rd person in here. Who is here tonight? Hello. Tell me who's here. I see a 3rd person. Anyway. Okay. Well, anyway, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me tonight. I am going to make a response to David Paulson after this video is over, and for good reason. So hopefully you'll check that out. The other 2 remote control symbol videos will come up sometime this week, I hope, and you'll see those as well. All right. I wish to thank you very, very much for tuning in. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned.